Video session plan is part of a series that will support you to design UEFA C sessions for the players in your team. It will focus on our attacker and midfielders defending to intercept the ball. My focus player near the ball is my number 9, who needs to be disciplined and show in one direction and cut off passing lines. And my number 8 will move laterally to better intercept passes. So in this first practice, which is a lanes practice, you'll need 12 out players. 3 will be blue and 9 will be red. Mark out 3 channels that are 10 yards wide and 15 yards long, and that's so that you can have a middle channel with the blues interceptors in. The practice starts with the players at the top of the practice trying to pass through to the player at the bottom. If the blue player blocks this option, they can use the bounce player on the side and he can send it long if not blocked or bounce it back to where it came from. If the blues can intercept the ball, they get a point, and the reds get a point every time they send the ball from one end to the other. Progress to using one ball and the 3 blues can move across the channels to close gaps. So your coach behaviours co-create with players individual development objectives that support their development, and player engagement asks players to set individual objectives to help them work on their areas for development. An example could be try to leave a space to invite the pass and then move late to intercept. So the blue player needs to scan to be aware of the player behind to see their movement and cut off any direct passes to them. Once the red plays to the bounce player, the blue should move as the ball moves to cut off any pass and be aware of the player behind. And the bounce player then has to send it back to where it came from. He needs to invite a gap so the pass can be played and then move laterally quickly to intercept. When he wins it, he should play it to the opposite end and restart the practice. When the practice progresses to using one ball, the blues need to keep good angles and distance and cover and support each other, and the team in possession hopefully won't be able to play through them. We then progress into a skill-based practice, and you need to create a 30 by 40 yard area and place 2 red goals in the corners for the blues to pass into and 1 goal centrally for the reds to score into. Dot some balls around the pitch to restart the practice quickly. Mark a channel out for the midfielders to work in. So some of the rules that are nice and easy. The 5 or 6 start the practice by passing to each other, and then one of them should try to play through the circle when possible. If they do this and the team scores, they get double points. The blues are not locked into their yellow channel, but should try to use this as a guide to them. We then progress into a skill-based practice. So as mentioned, the 5 and 6 start the practice and use this, and this triggers their teammates to create width and depth, and for the number 4 to find a pocket of space to collect the ball. They should always try to penetrate whenever the pass is on. If the blues have cut off the forward passes, they should move the ball quickly to wide areas and to move the blues out of position and encourage the wide players to penetrate with a pass or run. Now, the blues, when the first pass is made, they should move sideways as a unit with accurate angles and distance of support so they can't be played through. They should continue to scan and assess where the threat is and also try to set up a trap to leave an inviting gap for the pass to go through, but also being ready to pounce on any underhit passes that they can intercept and then counter. It is vital they communicate effectively regarding when and how to move, and if the ball goes back, they should squeeze up to deny space. The defender behind them has to try and mark their opponent to deny them space and time, and if the ball is played through to them, they should be goal side and ball side and be willing to provide cover till the midfielder gets beat. One of the midfielders should then drop in and cover the space left. Now we're progressing into a small-sided game, so we need a 60 by 40 yard area. You can reduce this if your players are younger. The goalkeeper plays out the ball to the defender and they try to get the number 5 or 6 to then play through. When the ball goes out, the coach can shout which ball to restart with. Again, your coach behaviour should encourage players to work hard to get into shape centrally and move as a cohesive unit, and ask the players again to set individual objectives linked to their individual development plans that will help them improve. Now we're progressing into a small-sided game. So when we go into the game, the red defender should get high and wide to create width and depth so we can exploit spaces created. The red midfielder should create double movements to create space as an individual, either short to go long or long to come short. Scan to assess threats from opposition and execute the right receiving touch so they can play forward effectively. They should receive to play forward, side on, let the ball come across them. Now, when we get into the Blues, the number 9 should cut off square passes, press the ball player when a weak, bobbly, or hard to control pass is made. The Blue midfielders should move laterally to cut off passing lines, provide cover and balance, leave that small inviting gap for opponents to try and play through so they can intercept, and especially if it's an underhit, bobbly pass, and then press the player in possession when they come over the halfway line, and narrow centrally and leave the space on the far side away from the ball to encourage the switch.